Heaven Official's Blessing. Chapter 217. Audio source: WuShowWorldAudiobook.com. 100 years of pain, 1,000 years of suffering. Since the robe was already being worn, there was definitely no way it could be burnt now, lest Xie Lian got burnt along with it. Xie Lian suggested, "I'll just keep the robe on me for now. It's not like it can suck my blood, and Ling Wen shouldn't be able to give any more commands either." A draft of blue smoky mist blew by, and where Ling Wen was standing had now only a blue Daruma doll, its expression very serious, and there even seemed to be scrolls in its arms. Xie Lian picked it up and tucked it away in his robes, and the two left this side chamber, sneaking into the main hall. It wasn't his imagination. The main hall of Ling Wen Palace appeared to be much gloomier than before, and the mountains of scrolls of reports piled high from the ground up looked to be perilous and dangerous, like it would collapse at any given moment and crush the people below to death. The two didn't run into any guards as they sprinted straight for a set of crimson doors in the deep heart of the palace. Before they even got close, Xie Lian heard a trembling, shocked voice. "How is this possible? How could this be? It was head priest. Could someone have gotten to him before they did?" Xie Lian instantly kicked the door down and growled, "Let him go." Sure enough, it wasn't only head priest alone inside the chamber. After the door was kicked down, everyone turned their heads to look at the new intruders. The shock on head priest's face still hadn't faded. "Your Highness." Head priest didn't look up for more than a moment before his head lowered again. "You just wait a sec, how could this be? What kind of luck is this?" Xie Lian and Hua Cheng were both speechless. Within the chamber, head priest and three others formed a full table and were just in the middle of a heated game of cards, their passion and obsession blinding them from their surroundings. While it said it was three other people, they weren't actually alive, and were roughly crafted paper dolls very crudely made. Who knows what kind of bizarre spell was casted for them to move and could even play cards. As for head priest, his exclamations just now were only his lament after getting his hand of cards. Xie Lian had originally thought perhaps head priest might suffer torturous interrogation and would look rather ghastly. But he hadn't expected that head priest would actually still be playing cards at a time like this, and while he didn't know whether to laugh or cry, the whole scene was incredibly dear. How could it not be dear? Back then when he and Feng Xin resided at the Holy Royal Pavilion, whenever they went to look for head priest, 7 out of 10 times he would be playing cards. Over 800 years had passed, but seeing once again the head priest playing cards, it was as if it was only yesterday. Even the crazed passion on head priest's face was exactly the same. He stared unblinkingly at the cards in his hands and spoke up without looking back. "Your Highness, you've finally come. But let me finish this round first." Xie Lian just knew his old bad habit of recognizing no one when gaming was happening again. Compared to him at the Great Martial Hall, they were practically two different people, really quite the sad sight. Xie Lian went up to try to drag him away from the table. "Master, what time do you think this is? Stop playing." Head priest's eyes were red and he yelled, "No, don't, let me finish. I'm almost done. Just this round. Let me finish this hand. It's almost done. I might just win this time." "You won't win, you really won't win," Xie Lian cried. Thankfully, this round really did finish fairly quickly, while head priest swore he was going to win, but in actuality he indeed did not win. He waved his hand and withdrew those 3 paper dolls, and head priest finally returned to his normal calm. He sat poised and said solemnly, "Your Highness, I knew you would come. I've been waiting for you." "It didn't look like you were waiting for me at all," Xie Lian thought. But of course he didn't say so out loud, since the respect for elders must still be maintained. Head priest continued, "I knew you must have many questions." Hua Cheng stood on the side, leaning against the door, looking rather at leisure but was probably standing guard. Xie Lian also sat proper and poised before the head priest. "Yes." After a pause, Xie Lian asked, First, I want to confirm, is John Wu? Is he really by Wu Yong, and also the Crown Prince of Wu Yong? There's no need for doubt. He is, head priest replied. I have no relation whatsoever with the Crown Prince of Wu Yong, right? We're two completely different people, Xie Lian asked. The only relationship you share with the Crown Prince of Wu Yong is he destroyed your kingdom, Xianle. Xie Lian said softly. But head priest, you once told me that you didn't know what Bai Wu Xiang was and you were certain he was born because of me. Your Highness, at the time, I genuinely did not know what he was, head priest replied. And by the time I found out, it was already too late. And, to say he was born because of you was not incorrect. Just what exactly does that mean? Xie Lian asked. And, the same question as before, why did he want to destroy Xianle? Head priest looked him in the eyes. Because of that one phrase you said. Xie Lian was taken aback. The one phrase I said? What phrase? Body in abyss, heart in paradise, head priest replied. Xie Lian was speechless for a moment. Then he asked incredulously. That's it? That's it, head priest said. Just that one line? Xie Lian questioned. What's wrong with those words? Head priest replied darkly. Everything. Everything all started with that phrase of yours. Xie Lian could vaguely tell that what head priest was about to say next would be something he'd have a hard time to swallow. And he wanted to call for Hua Cheng, but before he could do so, Hua Cheng had already come forward and sat down next to him. You saw those murals at Mount Tong Lu, correct? Head priest asked. Yes, Xie Lian replied. Were you the one who left those murals behind? Yes, it was me, head priest replied. Every time when Mount Tong Lu opens its gates, I would sneak in. On one hand, it's to prevent a new ghost king from being born, and the other is to use all manner of ways to leave some sort of clue to tell others about the Wu Yong kingdom, and about the Crown Prince of Wu Yong. Xie Lian wondered solemnly. Why not just tell people directly? Why must you use such a roundabout method? Your Highness, why do you think there's now practically no one in the world who knows about the Wu Yong kingdom? Head priest asked. Before Xie Lian answered, Hua Cheng had spoken up. Everyone who knew had been cleaned away, right? That's right, head priest replied. If the clues left behind were too obvious, or if words spread directly, then I will have the danger of exposure. Anyone who'd seen might all vanish from this world. It won't matter how many people. Even if it's a city fortress, he could turn it into flat ground within 3 days. You should know I'm not joking. Of course Xie Lian knew. And the ironic thing was, he was once thankful that Zhen Wu had ascended and became a god instead of fallen into becoming a demon, otherwise the world would fall into chaos. Head priest continued. This is why I can't let him notice that there are still people in this world who knows about those events, but still I can't accept the fact that I'm the only one who knew. I thought those who are attentive enough and brave enough would naturally discover the truth. Since I don't have the power to fight him straight on, I'll just go more with the flow. Throughout the years, I've been hiding and running, and have concealed myself well. Except for that time 800 years ago, I almost couldn't get away. He had never been able to capture me. He was able to this time because he discovered the murals I left behind in that divine temple within the Red Forest of Tong Lu. Plus later on you correctly guessed his identity, and so it came to him that I might still be alive, and also left behind many things he didn't want people to know about. Xie Lian remembered that at the time, when they were passing through the last divine temple within the Red Forest of Tong Lu, the last couple of murals, the most important ones, were already destroyed by someone. At the time, both he and Hua Cheng suspected that someone was hidden inside the temple, but they weren't able to find the person. Now that he thought back on it, there was actually a very real possibility that Bai Wu Xiang really was hidden in some corner within that divine temple. Xie Lian asked. But, head priest, why do you have to keep hiding and running? Head priest replied. Of course it's because of betrayal, Hua Cheng said. The word was a little sharp, and head priest gave him a look. However, Hua Cheng's expression did not change. "You've betrayed him, right?" "Pretty much," head priest said. "That's about it." He turned to Xie Lian. "How do I say this, Your Highness? Everything told on the murals were all true. The esteemed Highness the Crown Prince of Wu Yong was like the one and only son in the Wu Yong kingdom. Back in the day when you were the Crown Prince of Xianlu, however glorious you were, he was many times more. Me and my 3 peers, the 4 of us, were once his vassals. After the Crown Prince ascended, he appointed us all up to the heavens, and there, we have also witnessed many forms and colors of various celestial beings. Without any exaggeration, even within the sea of gods in the heaven realm, he was also like the sun, shining so brightly that others next to him would lose their colors." As head priest spoke, a flash of the smallest of smiles appeared unconsciously. Xie Lian felt, when he was addressing the others, His Highness, he wasn't talking about Zhen Wu, nor Bai Wu Xiang, but that young crown prince of 2,000 years prior. "I think you've also told me something similar in the past," Xie Lian said. "Have I? When people get old their memory is bad." "You have. But you told me he didn't ascend. That he died." "That's probably because I'd rather he didn't ascend," head priest said. "Was it because Mount Tong Lu the volcano erupted?" Head priest didn't answer his question and only said, "His Highness' spiritual powers were too strong. In his dream he foresaw the future of Wu Yong was a sea of fire, and so he started thinking of ways to save his people. If the me now was there, I would never have let him do so. But, at the time, none of us had thought things would turn out the way they did. We only thought that there were people who were going to die, so what's wrong with saving them? But things weren't so simple. It was impossible to stop the volcano from erupting, and if we wanted no one hurt, then the only option was to migrate. However, the affected areas were too great. It wasn't just a matter of 1 or 2 city fortresses. To the nobles and the common people, the best way was to invade other kingdoms, take over new land, otherwise the other kingdoms wouldn't easily allow such a great number of people from Wu Yong to move in. However, to His Highness that wasn't an option at all. Blood would shed in war, and once blood flows eyes would grow red, turn people violent, and become less than human. Still, the Wu Yong kingdom dispatched troops. Wherever the soldiers went, not a single soul was left alive. And since the objective was to clear land for future people of Wu Yong to move in, the generals had given the order to slaughter the citizens of the other kingdoms, the more the better, and blood flowed like rivers, corpses piled high like mountains. Once His Highness found out, he was very angry. As you all have seen, he descended upon the battlefield, and punished those soldiers of Wu Yong. When Xie Lian realized this was about the young Zhen Wu, and also the young Bai Wu Xiang, he felt rather intrigued. Head priest continued. Yet, he wasn't the only one who was angry. This whole affair also angered the nobles of Wu Yong, and also a part of the people. Many went to the divine temple to question His Highness. "We only wanted to survive. We need more land, and we only invaded others because we had no choice, so how could we be wrong? The effect of this affair had greatly exceeded all of our expectations. And it was becoming more and more serious, with some already calling for the desecration of his statues, the burning of his temples, but His Highness withstood all of it. He said, if Wu Yong was the one being invaded, he would die defending the kingdom, allowing the enemy to step not a single foot across the border. However, if it was themselves, they must never invade others. He earnestly requested for everyone to abandon war, and wait until he's built something, his heaven-crossing bridge." Head priest said slowly, "There wasn't any more land in the mortal realm, so let's bring the people up the heavens to shelter them for a while." While this idea was practically impossible, but all 4 of us believed in His Highness absolutely, convinced that he could do it. Or rather, we would do our utmost to support him in whatever he endeavors. Of course the other heavenly officials didn't think the same. The entire heaven realm was against it, but His Highness still withstood it. He took on three things at once: the ignorance and grumbling complaints of the nobles and people of Wu Yong, the incessant outrage of all the gods in heaven, and that giant heaven-crossing bridge. However, Watcheng snorted. Against it? They probably weren't just opposing it. Head priest nodded slowly. If it was only mere opposition, it wouldn't have mattered. But Xie Lian could vaguely guess what had happened, but still he asked. But, head priest said, that bridge required an enormous amount of time and terrifying spiritual powers to fully build, and His Highness couldn't be distracted at all. He had practically stopped going anywhere else, stopped doing anything else, and stopped listening to the prayers of believers. He could only focus on doing this one thing. However, a god that could only do one thing will never be able to keep followers. The first day he took on that bridge, the people were grateful to him and remembered him. The second day, the third day, the fourth day, were also the same. A month, 2 months, they still were grateful and remembered him. But, when time dragged on, it wouldn't do. The volcano hadn't erupted yet, but His Highness wasn't doing anything else, and had been silently storing his powers. The people couldn't help but feel he wasn't as powerful as he once was, that he wasn't as dedicated anymore even. At a time like this, inevitably, a new god will be worshipped. The Wu Yong kingdom was greatly populated, the wealth abundant, and the power of belief of the believers were also quite strong. This was obvious, seeing how His Highness prospered back then. There were many heavenly officials who had long since been salivating over this domain and the believers within it, so Xie Lian understood. He said, so, the heavenly officials took advantage of this opportunity, used the resentment and dissatisfaction the people of Wu Yong bore from the descent of that crown prince to withdraw the troops, tempted them, and divided His believers and the source of His spiritual powers. Right? End chapter.